Morning, Lawrence.
Good morning, Martin. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Very well. Thank you. Eugene Steele. Cool. Good morning, Chris.
Morning, Lawrence.
I think we're wearing similar kinds of glasses.
I'm a little quirky like that.
Okay, well, then I'll be quirky too. Fine.
I'm trying to look. I don't even know where my other ones are. That's funny.
All right. So let's do this. So a lot of people are in Utah. So today is May the 1st, and it is Friday. It's Mindset Day. And I want to also say hello to the people in Utah who are at the wellness center at our convention center, not convention, at our fly-in. So the calls that we have to do with behavior change, measurable outcomes, and leadership. So before I say anything else, I go to my little mantra, which is Augmandino, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in my destiny. I will persevere until I succeed. It's Augmandino. The only way we can fail is if we quit. That is a given. So if we talk about mindset, and I always try and look for some authors that are inspirational or some people, some authors that can give us some insight into things that we may miss because we're so busy in our daily lives. Excuse me. So the mindset of behavior change, measurable outcomes, and leadership, as I mentioned. So today I've chosen the Atomic Habits. Oh, it's quite heavy. The Atomic Habits, which is who's the author is James Clear, and I've just started to pick a little bit on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start with pieces of that and add in other things that I think might be relevant. So the first thing then is the power of tiny changes. That's one of the things in the Atomic Habits. So you say we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. What does that mean? Well, we all have lofty goals, everybody. And it's only through perseverance, focus, dedication, discipline, and hard work that we achieve those goals. But it's a lot easier if we actually follow a system within those goals. And that's what this is all about as well, the systems. So systems are what carry organizations forward, despite human errors and whims, because the human factor is something that is always unpredictable. But the system, if it's well established, is the blueprint for us to go forward. And we have a proven system backed by what many people are looking for, health span and well span, and able to monitor their progress. So our company is 40 years old. If it hasn't got a system by now, man, we have a system. And it's a question of just following the system that has been forged by our predecessors into being successful. So um, we're looking at, so before I do that, what I want to do is I've got a couple of videos, parts of them, which have all to do with everything we're talking about in all of our mindset calls. So there's a school of hard knocks, and I follow that school of hard knocks. And there's a young guy who interviews billionaires around the world. He's got 21 million followers. And he just spends literally half a minute interviewing billionaires around the world. And I've got a couple that I wanted to show you. One of them has to do with, one second, let me bring it up, because these are real lessons that I think are very, very valuable. So bear with me a sec, if I can find the bloody thing now. Okay, no, I think that's not it either. Okay, bear with me. I have it already, and it was wherever it is now. Here it is. Here. Sorry, I'm just kidding. I have everything ready. I'm technologically a little bit challenged, but anyway, can you see my screen? Can anybody say? Because I can't see anybody else now. Can you see my screen?
No,
Not yet.
Not yet?
Correct.
Okay, so share. Where the hell did it go? Mm, okay. No. Oh dear, I had it up there a second ago. I apologize. Let me try the other one. Can you see my screen now?
no, not yet.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah,
All
Yep.
right. So let's look at this guy. So this is a guy, it's just a couple of minutes, but it's worth what just a couple of these because they're very, very, very valuable. Here we go. Um, Sound there.
52 when I become a billionaire.
And how did you get rich?
I'm an entrepreneur.
Could I interview you for a minute? I interview billionaires all the time.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been fucked over in business?
A million times.
Yeah.
But I fuck harder. I don't go out to damage anybody, but you cross my path, you try to damage me, you'll pay.
There's no mercy for the competition.
No, no. There's no bad business with a good man. There's no good business with a bad man.
Is this your house?
This is my house. Yeah.
How much is it worth?
So this house right now is about
There's no business with the, you see these little pearls that come up. These are the ones I'm talking about. Not the mercy about the competition, but the little pearls that people say, and we've
no,
got
no. There's no bad business with a good man. There's no good business with a bad man.
how about that? There's no that those are little pearls. Okay,
Is this your house?
This is my house. Yeah.
How much is it worth?
So this house right now is about 175 million.
175
Yeah.
million. Did you come from a lot of money?
I came from absolutely nothing. My dad was homeless.
Your dad.
My dad was
175
homeless.
million. Did you come from a lot of money?
I came from absolutely nothing. My dad was homeless.
Your dad was homeless.
My dad was homeless. He migrated from Cuba with 5 kids, and I'm the first one that ever went to college.
You're not just the first millionaire in your family. You're the first billionaire in your family.
Yeah, but then as you go through the motions, you understand that it takes the same amount of effort to make $1 than it does to make 10 million or 100 million. The rules are all the same.
And when you solve those $100 million problems, the people involved got way more money.
Correct. But if you want to live with the classes, you got to cater to the masses, right?
I like
And if you
Did you get that? We've got to cater for the masses. We're talking about 40,000 prisms a month that the company's producing now.
want to live like the masses, you're going to cater to the classes.
What's the biggest misconception people have about really wealthy people?
I think if you really divide society into three, you have the people that are doers, and I find myself as somebody like that. But there's people that focus on criticizing the people that do 90% for your community. Most of the time, they don't even know that.
Why are you hating?
Why are you hating?
Why are you hating?
Because it's envy, and that's two worst letters in the alphabet are the N and the V, and you put them together, it's envy. I'm hated upon at many different levels, but now I realize that these people don't pay my bills, and they're all doing worse than I am.
Nobody else has thought to ever pay my bill.
Never.
How old are you now?
59.
If I could give you these last 20 seconds to give me the blueprint on how to become a billionaire in today's world, what would that be?
One of the most important things that people need to understand is you have to be available. I always respond to everybody. You text message me. Answering for people is one of the most underrated things that exists.
So being busy is not a flex.
No, it's not. People rely on people that respond. And when you want to go to somebody, if you're there and they know they can rely on you, you got half the battle won.
You got amazing advice, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I connect with all.
Okay, so the responding part, the follow-up, that's the message, one of the parts of the message that I wanted to talk about in that. Because it's one thing to be great at communicating, it's another thing to be great at having great products, But unless we follow up, unless we communicate, unless the people know that they're there, that we are there for them, that is something that I'm trying to push a little bit today. The other one was a really good one also, and I'll try one more and just brief because it's very worthwhile. It's the guy who started Home Depot. Hold on, Office Depot. Where is this? Bear with me a sec. Here it is. Okay. Can you still see my screen?
No.
Nope.
Okay, hold on. So share screen. Where are we here? Zoom. Share screen. Okay. And where is that one? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
It's coming up.
Okay. So look at this guy here. This is not long, but it's very worthwhile too.
Money to me was
This is the guy who started Home Depot Office. Okay. Okay.
How old are you now?
83 years old.
At what age did you become a billionaire?
That's a good question. I don't know. And you know what? It's good that I don't know because it was never about money to me. It was always about building values.
Becoming a billionaire was only a byproduct of
That
that.
is exactly right.
Did you come from a lot of money growing up?
No, I came from nothing. My dad was a pharmacist. He passed away at an early age.
If you didn't come from tremendous wealth, how did your upbringing shape the way that you think about money and risk?
That's a great question. My upbringing was based on a set of values that a mother had an expression, you do the right things for the right reasons and live with the consequences.
At 36 years old, you were fired from your job.
Right.
Did you have people that doubted you or thought you were crazy when you started Home Depot?
Absolutely. The first couple of years, people come into our stores, they say, these guys are nuts, they're crazy. Just ignore these guys, they're going to go broke. The volumes that we were doing were unbelievable. And that was all as a response of listening to what customers, and the customer is always going to be right.
The customer always comes first.
The customer always comes first. I used to say at Home Depot, our ultimate sign of success is when our customers, they were so loyal, they would feel like they were disloyal by shopping someplace else.
So you wanted your customers to become raving fans of your business.
Absolutely. And I would say that to all of your listeners.
You're 83 years old today.
Right.
If me and you died tomorrow and you had one more message to leave with the younger generation, what would that be?
When you're talking about human relationships, the reason I'm doing this interview is because I watched some of your other ones, which are great, but you develop a trust relationship with who you're talking to. In all these businesses, I think it's so critical that you develop trust, because once you have that trust level established, people will open up their hearts and their minds and eventually their wallets to you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You have amazing advice, sir.
Take care of yourself.
I connect with all the millionaires and billionaires.
Okay. So, oh dear, oh gosh. Stop, please. Where does that go?
Exposure to free radical activity is an inevitable part of life.
So sorry. Okay. Obviously technology is not my forte, but here we go. Okay. So some of the pros from there are raving fans. Isn't it a really wonderful concept that Tony Robbins actually has, that he creates raving fans? And the raving fan you create by having these things that he's talking about, the credibility and the empathy and the caring of how we're doing things. So let's go back to my little notes here about the atomic habits, because it all dovetails in. So one of the key pointers on that is get 1% better every day. Small improvements compound into massive results. That's the compound effect, Darrell Hardy. So the concept of wearable devices came out, the Aura Ring and so on. That's great. But they didn't tell us anything about how to do anything. So here comes the Prism IO, where we can measure with awareness, lead to action and solution. See, we're not just selling something to make money. We're not selling. We're offering the solution to people's problems. That's what we're actually doing. And the solutions to people's problems or what people want are right now, we're right in the perfect moment for all of this. So we're looking at the goals versus systems. This is what another part of this, same as Office Depot, what he eventually was talking about was systems. So goals versus systems. I mentioned that a little bit before. So the systems are where we have, for example, the Gillette shaving model. That's a system where they get goal was to have a better shave, but the system was to have an ongoing business, and that is replacing the razors. So that is a proven system, and it's become very, 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 very successful. Our goal is to bring WellPath and health span, WellSpan and HealthSpan to everyone. The system is through measurable awareness. So everybody's concerned about their health. Everybody's interested in their health. Everybody's looking at measuring now these various biomarkers. Well, we can do that. That's what we're offering. And we have the system is to be able to have a device that will measure their progress and help them make educated lifestyle choices. The other thing is the identity, excuse me, the identity-based habits. So it's a shift from what do I want to who do I want to become? Because you can want something all your life, but unless you become better at what you do, unless you progress, unless we progress, then we're not really going to get anywhere. Example, I want to be healthy versus I am the person who values health. If you value what you're doing, then you'll get there. So the plateau of latent potential. This is one of the subjects there on the atomic habits. And I was looking at that and I said, and the people quit because results are delayed. Success is happening before it's visible. So a lot of people, most people, since they're not entrepreneurs, quit because they can't yet see the result. When you plant a seed, it's in the soil. It might be in the soil for months before you even see it germinating. And then when you don't see it germinating, then we all say, no, it's not, it didn't happen. But we've got to water it and fertilize it and so on. And it might take months before we actually see something happening. It's like a baby as well. A baby, nothing happens for it. We can't see anything well, eventually we see a big time, but 9 months. But it takes time to incubate. And that's in our business too. We can't look for instant results because it doesn't work that way. Life is not like that. At least life can be, but business is not like that. So we have a lot of things that we have on our plate. The most important thing is all about the beginning, what I said, the mindset was behavior change, measurable outcomes, and leadership. So we've got examples of people who are persistent, who are focused, and to use the tools in a right way. I know I've rambled on various things today and I got flustered with my technology, but I hope I've rendered the idea of a system, goals versus systems. Goals are the outcome, but the system is the process. Winners focus on systems. The system is what works because your goals might not be achieved initially, but the system will see you through because you might have an up and down and it's human factor. I've rambled a bit on various things here today because it's just so many things, and I'm trying to put them into a cohesive cohesive thought. So here's the question. Are we chasing results or are we building systems that guarantee results? This is what it's about. We have systems. We can have lots of examples. The goals are merely the result of the successful systems if we apply them. Would anyone like to comment on any of this?
I find it, I mean, it's very pertinent for, being very new to this kind of dynamic position, company role. I've learned a lot from Deborah, from Dr. Krieger, from Greg, just about, mindset. And I've shifted a lot of old kind of ingrained, um, habits or ways that, I kind of look at like business. And again, like you said, it's easy to like quit too quickly. And that's something that I've done in the past. So, planting those seeds and being patient and focusing on using the tools, the systems. I mean, it all resonates with me for sure. So I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. And welcome to your successful journey.
Thank you.
Got some good leaders that you can follow, and they've proven record. And Deborah Crystal is what I call it's like perfume. Dynamite comes in small packages, but it's very, very powerful. Anybody else? Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Yes, sir.
I've been with the company about 4 months now, and I really haven't done great. I mean, I had one uh, alleged one person who was going to become a brand rep, and whatever reason, they had some illnesses, and they backed out, and then they tried to do something without training, and I told them not to do anything, and they did it anyway. So they tried to sell people, and they had zero idea what they were talking about. So that could have been discouraging. I have some customers that are using the product, but the thing is, I believe in this. I believe in this so deeply. I know what we have is great. So no matter what happens, I'm not going to get discouraged because I know it's like you were saying earlier, the seeds are going to be planted and eventually there will be growth.
So may I ask you, thank you, Jeffrey. May I ask you a question?
Sure,
Do you take the supplements?
I do.
Have you seen the difference?
I do. Yes. As a matter of fact, if somebody's really interesting, I have a hand here. This is really interesting. I had a severe injury here a few years ago, and my hand never really healed. I've been a dermatologist, and they scraped it, and they biopsied it, and it never really healed. So I've been taking the product, but I also started the collagen. And after I started the collagen, it totally healed it. It's no longer tender. It's no longer red. It's amazing.
See, that's leading by example. You don't have to convince, you don't have to try and convince, or you don't have to sell anybody. People will buy. Big difference. If you know what you've got, and you've got, for example, a valid story, people will say, "Oh my God, Jeffrey, what is that stuff? I know somebody that needs that." As a matter of fact, my whoever may want to have that. So that is where people buy. That's where people you become a raving fan of something that you've seen, you've palpated. This is what it's about. That's what leadership is about. You've got to be the first person to lead yourself, to be absolutely convinced that something that you're proposing to everybody is authentic, it's real, it's something that you believe in. That's a raving fan. I'm a raving fan. Listen, when I started, my first check was $350 a month in the first month after I'd been making 30 I don't know, $35,000 a month. My first check in this was 352. My wife said I was smoking some kind of mushrooms. What are you doing? And yet but I saw the long road. And this is 20 years later, and I'm still here, and I go everywhere, do everything I want. I'm going to St. Augustine today for a few days. But so what I'm trying to say is you're right. You'd have to be a product of the product. We talk about that all the time. Use the products, try the product. My score on this device thing is 1,000, and I'm 80 years old. It's 1,000. When people say, and I scan people and they look beautiful and they look great and they fit and look wow, and they scan somewhere in the orange or in the red, and I talk to them about health, then they look at me with kind of like, well, what do you do? And I show them where I am, and they say, oh, well, what do you do? What are you taking? How often do you take it? And et cetera, et cetera. And then people want to follow something or someone that has credibility. And that was what the guy from Home Depot was saying to the other guy. He said, you have the credibility. I'm giving you this interview because I've seen the sort of credibility that you have. It's about integrity, credibility. Leadership is about you leading yourself. And then we have the system. That won't let us down. It's a system. McDonald's has an average hamburger in I don't know how many hundreds of countries with different mentalities, different mindsets, different laws, different everything, but the system is the same. That's what will carry us through, because the human factor has all kind of whims and we have all our emotional stuff, and then we want to quit and we don't want to do this and we want to do that. Follow the system. That's it. Martin, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the system that gives it replicability,
Yep,
and that's key.
exactly. Replicability, not only duplication, replication, multiplication.
And that makes it compound.
There you go. Exactly. 40,000 prisms a month are coming up. We had a total of 3,000 scanners over 20 years in the US, 5,000 in the world. And now 40,000 of these things are coming out every month? Holy moly. This is exciting. It's exciting time. No excuses for us not to absolutely knock it out of the park with excitement. Jeffrey, I like your story.
Thank you. It's also interesting if I have another minute or two. So I've been, I'm a retired physician, and I never heard of oxidative stress until I got into this business. And I was wondering, I never really thought about it. And I was watching YouTube last night about some oxidative stress videos. And I realized, I never realized it before, but oxidative stress really wasn't even a medical concept until the 2000s. I went to medical school in the 1960s, and oxidative stress, no clue, no clue. We spent our nutrition training was like 2 hours in 4 years of school.
Hearing this?
So it's amazing how far things have come. And I talked to a couple of friends, and I was mentioning oxidative stress, and they go, "What's oxidative stress?"
That's
So,
really,
so it's an education campaign too.
thank you. You're 100%. I always talk about the doctors, the older school, following the pharmaceutical dogma, and they do symptom management, reactive medicine, and that's not where the future goes. The future has to do with prevention, and it has to do with proactive medicine. And that's where we get into functional medicine. That's where we get to other things as well. Guys, we've got a hard stop because they're going to use the same channel in Utah at the fly-in. So I'm gonna, any last parting shots? Anybody? No?
I appreciate you. I've been on these calls since I started, and I haven't really been on camera, but I've been taking notes, and I have all my notes from all of your Fridays, and it's helped me a lot. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, and thank you for being on. And it honors me that you haven't quit me or the mindset calls on Friday because it's always encouraging. Thank you, guys. God bless everybody.
Lawrence.
And listen, it's the next quarter. Get on it. We've really got a lot of work to do. The first day of the next quarter is today. Blessings, everybody. Take care.
Thank
Thank you,
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Lawrence.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye now.